it's kind of like I'm the bus driver, Belky's the bus monitor, and we're just fucking ripping down this mountain, tight mountain highway, twists and turns left and right. We're like, they have a rough idea. We don't tell them, but we're going to the top of the mountain. They don't even know which peak it is. They're just like, we're going up.
No,
and we're
dude.
getting fucking thrown around. They're like, what are you clowns doing? People are dropping off. Like, they're falling off the bus, literally, because we're kicking them off. And now we're just going too fast, and they can't get off. They don't know what's happening.
Welcome to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about entrepreneurship, self-development, challenging norms. A clipped cash text has just come through. And you know what that means? I've been on Zapier. It was Trends. It was a fake subscription. I manually canceled it, and we get a text when someone cancels a subscription so that we can go fix it, but it was Maypop. Tell them how you feel about clipped cash.
Did we introduce the pod? I kind of blacked out for a minute or two.
I did.
You said this is Smart Nonsense, huh?
I did.
Wow.
They go on YouTube. YouTube?
Didn't register. I was trying to fix this blown out background. I guess I could turn on my bed.
What about the Slick Rick Wi-Fi?
How's she?
You fix that yet?
Slick. Here's the thing. Slick. He's streaming like 3 different things on the TV. He's got stock ticker tape running all throughout the house. It's just sucking a lot of data, so there's none left for our Zoom calls. But Pokey, before we get into this breakthrough 80-20 that I've never seen before in my life, and I'm excited about, I think this is one of those. What did I tell you? There was that tweet. Like, every company just needs their fucking crazy dude that just brain blasts absurd ideas.
Yeah, the moonshot tweet. You just need a crazy guy.
You need the crazy moonshotter. I want to be that guy. You're the techie, I'm the moonshotter. And so you're like...
Well, you see, Pop, the problem right now is you can be that guy. The problem right now is we're kind of both that guy, and nobody's running the company. We just talk all day and do crazy moonshots. And sometimes they work.
Everyone keeps asking. They're like Yuri's like, oh, how's the agency doing? I'm like, well, it's doing worse. And then my dad's like, how are things? Not growing. but
my mom,
yeah.
I told my mom, good thing Jack, my brother, didn't join because what we were going to hire him for doesn't exist anymore. And it's like, for her, it's like a major I told you so. Like, she's like, thank God he didn't do that. You would have all crashed and burned together.
No, dude. He probably would have got us this transition in like a week. It took us 2 months. No, here's the thing. It's the dip. And we don't Dippin' Dots dip. We hang in there with the dip. So, what the fuck? I wanted to say something.
That's your transition, Dippin' Dots.
I
love not having guests. I love not having guests. Dude, that's what I love.
I don't mean to rip on Ian, but it's just the chemistry. It's like back in high school. Actually, I sent you this thing with the townies, that beat us. We were the number 1 seeded. Granted, we were D3 because we were a small school, but we're the number 1 seeded team, and it was just me and this kid Connor McKnight. We had the best chemistry in the league. He had the most goals in the league, and I had the most assists because I passed him everything. And like, I think we broke state records because we just nuke boosted. But that sort of chemistry we got, and you try and bring someone else into the mix, and they're just like, "What am I doing on this line? I don't belong here," and it doesn't make sense in a podcast. So hopefully,
we can talk about Dippin' Dots. And it makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense to the viewer, but
crypto or Dippin' Dots, you choose. No, we got some fucking moonshot ideas. Belky, I still want to tease it because I want to talk about Sean. But what we moonshotted, we figured out this 80-20, and then I doubled down on a 99-1 to take it to the extreme because we got
people know
20
what that
grand
means?
right now. Huh?
Does anybody know what that means? 80-20, 99-1. It's just numbers. It's like on SmartList when they got to explain things to Tracy.
Hey, you do an exponential curve, right? Because everything is power laws, as in you put in a little and you can get out a lot. So if you put in like 20% of the effort in certain areas, you'll get 80% of the returns. As in, there's 1 client out of 5 will give you 80% of the total money you make. We think we found that. But not only that, we think we found the 199, as in the 1 client customer in 100, that's going to give us 99% of our revenue. We think we found that. So that's where we want to double down potentially. I got some crazy moonshot, loonshot ideas.
Infinite. It's a zero in infinity.
I ain't never seen nothing like that. Hey, before we get into that, listening to MFN this morning, it's weird. Such a love-hate relationship. I want them to fail and succeed at the same time. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, context clues.
And synthesis.
Hey, we fuck at we suck at. How did fun get into
clues?
there? We suck at context. I gotta go back on the apology tour, booting the bus back up, the van. I'm getting the apology van and gotta do a lap internally this time. Last time it was externally. This time it's internally. A lot of fuck ups. The main one, I think, one, we moved too fast for anyone to have a real life and family behind them. It was analogized what we did in this last 2 months of transition to Henry and I. It's kind of like I'm the bus driver, Belky's the bus monitor, and we're just fucking ripping down this mountain, tight mountain highway, twists and turns left and right. We're like, they have a rough idea. We don't tell them, but we're going to the top of the mountain. They don't even know which peak it is. They're just like, we're going up.
No,
and we're
dude.
getting fucking thrown around. They're like, what are you clowns doing? People are dropping off. Like, they're falling off the bus, literally, because we're kicking them off. And now we're just going too fast, and they can't get off. They don't know what's happening. That's what this last 2 months has felt like from the Filipino team side, as we've been just
Meanwhile, we got the
testing.
windshield, we got rear view mirrors, we got side mirrors. We know what peak we're on.
No, part of the problem is, though, there are still the twists and turns, so we don't really know what's around each bend, but we're just going full steam ahead.
We see it first.
And if we're going to fly off the cliff, we're going to fly off the cliff. But we're going pedal to the metal. And it's funny because we get the little nuke boost, like the bus monitor. I had this bus monitor, Gene. I actually got suspended from the bus because I got off the stop, and Gene was kind of special. And it was she was really old and special and like ugly looking. She looked like a witch and like had a big ass, sorry. I dial it back. Not ripping on Gene, but I was kind of angry she suspended me. I got off the bus and then like I looked at Jean, pointed at her, and started humping a telephone pole. I was like 10, dude. I don't know, but she wrote me up and I couldn't ride the bus for like a week.
I think that's fair. I really think if I got pointed at by a 10-year-old and you were doing that, 100% suspended. Might even expel you.
I thought I was like off school turf, so it was like I can do whatever I want, but
Pop, it's
apparently
door
they
to
can
door
write me up.
for the bus. They're responsible for you from door to door. I learned that. All right.
I was on an illegal short bus for most of my life as a child.
Illegal?
As in, they made me ride the bus for an hour and a half to get home, which isn't supposed to be allowed. It's capped at like an hour, but they just fucking sent me all around the city or town.
I have a feeling your mom paid them to keep you out of the house for an extra half hour.
Could be, dude. Ruckus. You don't want an introvert just cooking, stewing all day while his single mom.
Should we talk about synthesis quickly?
Yeah.
Or not the
we
episode?
got some chips.
It's the same thing with My First Million that you were going to say, right? No, I don't want to call them out. It's bad karma. It's bad. We just have this problem where people aren't posting our clips, and then they come to us saying they're not getting the engagements they want. And I didn't look, so I took all the blame for that and let them off kind of scot-free. Turns out they're just not posting clips. So of course you're not going to get engagements.
Hey,
Scott.
Yeah. I mean, part of our thing is like our clips might have been overkill, but on average, they got like 12,000 views on Twitter, and they weren't even really posting them anywhere else, and they only posted 4 out of the 24. So it's like, what the fuck are you guys blaming us for? But we move so fast, we're just like, shit ain't working. We trust you. We sent them right back.
Paid them off. Yeah. Didn't we talk about that?
Probably. But that's another thing, too, I was thinking. Like, with us just pedal to the metal driving this bus, it's kind of the same thing with Crackhead when we were living together. And overnight, we just upended our life.
This is a co-founder of mine at the last thing.
You can deduce who it is if you've been following along. But he basically, we're like, we had this month of just anxiety, like we got to make this change, kind of like what happened with this transition. And finally, like, yo, we just got to do it, rip the Band-Aid off. We have the conversation, we're like, hey, I know it seems kind of crazy, but we just got to heads down on this, and like we can't have any distractions. Henry and I just want to live together, and we need you to move out. He's like, what the fuck? Granted, I would react the exact same and be like, I can't move out. What are you kicking me out literally today? And like, well, if you can't go, I'm gonna.
You're
go.
like, tomorrow.
Yeah. He's like, when? I'm like, tomorrow. So he said no. Then went on a trip that weekend to California, and Henry and I booted up and took off and abandoned him, which was
Same thing with synthesis. They're like, we want to offboard, but we got 6 clips left. Like, when can you do them? We're like, we're on to the next thing. Here's your $6,000. Thank you. I didn't even look into it. They just weren't posting our stuff. It's really disappointing.
Yeah, from the outside, I'm confused. Where's the line where we're just business douchebags?
How do you mean? Like, if we snap back there?
Like, the crackhead decision seemed totally cool. Like, everything we read is like, if you're gonna make a hard decision, just do it fast, rip the Band-Aid. That's what we did in that scenario. Same thing with this transition.
I just think most
Eventually
people don't do that. Even before, like, working here and working together, I would be that person that just let things linger. You know, we'll get synthesis their last 6 clips. We'll live out the month with the co-founder we can't live with. But it's like, just rip the Band-Aid off.
It's big
terribly
headspace.
hard, but
It's like, you don't want to be worrying about it. I felt we analogized this to, if we're still working with them and they're going to cancel, it's like we're digging holes just to fill them. Like, we don't want to have someone working on their content for that reason. Granted, their clips were working, they just weren't posting them, but whatever. Hey, I don't want to like harp on negative shit too long.
Yeah.
But interesting thing real quick with Sean, that's one of the MFM people. We've had this love-hate relationship. We've been basically trying to like force feed people, our editors. And we're like, yo, we got good people. Sean is one of these lazy people. He has this amazing newsletter. He's one of the best writers on the internet. I can't stop reading his stuff. He's just amazing. He has a course for that. And we're like, yo, dude, get an editor. We're just pinging him like crazy. And it's like, hey, the closed mouth don't get fed. Jeez, I can't speak when I speak fast.
The closed mouth don't get fed, but also you can't lead the horse to water and make it drink.
But it's just funny because we beat him down and he's like on it today. I don't know if he'll actually be on it, but it's interesting to see. I think it's one of those cases where I just want him to be an opt out of clipped versus an opt in. Like, he's so lazy. Once I think we get him in the system, it'll be harder to get him out. That's my theory. Not that we like make it hard to unsubscribe, but I think he goes with inertia all the time. Okay.
Now too that we got, and then let's turn to the whale. But you might not think it matters, but now that we kind of got this figured out, we have a bunch of super editors on tap. I kind of want to, I don't know, Hassan Minhaj. He was like curious about doing YouTube Shorts with his vlogs.
Oh,
I don't know what that would look like,
him,
but
it gets into.
I'm so curious about YouTube Shorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, dude,
what?
Hop in Slack after this. I think Nick Sharma's gonna crush for DTC. If he does stuff like Colin and Samir.
Did he do it?
Okay. No, but he's down to do it. He agrees.
Okay. Sick.
Yesterday, Pop.
I know, I'm just making sure ain't no other things. Okay. So yesterday, this is one of those where, I don't know, every once in a while, Belky has a great idea. And the whole crowd goes wild. This is awesome. It's one of those, actually, I was getting into Socrates last night because you called me the Socrates of like getting to the why of everything. And I never really like paid attention in world history classes. So I was like, who's Socrates? I'm trying to read Plato's dialogues to get a feel for like what he does. But you had one of those moments where you were like, all right, we get off the phone with Angus. Angus works for Ali Abdaal.
I think it's just shocking for me too, because you do 80/20s all day long.
Well, I'm the Sean
I do
lazy
one in a
approach.
blue moon. Yeah.
I think the beauty of being lazy is you question like every single second someone asks me to do something, I'm like, why? Why would I change what I'm doing right now to do that? That backfires a lot.
And I'll just commit.
Like, I haven't left my house in a week. but
I'll commit to doing it
business is
blindly,
good.
even if it's not the most useful 80-20 thing.
It's pros and cons, but with building a large business, it's been good, especially here. So we're talking to Ali Abdaal, or his right-hand man, and they have this
Gorgeous
part-time
man.
YouTuber Academy course. I don't know how much of it. This probably won't get released for like 2 months, so fuck it. Basically, they have hundreds of students every quarter that come in for this course to learn how to be a YouTuber. And we realized, originally, we got his attention. Actually, Henry got his attention, and we had some clips to back it up. Like, Ollie, this is awesome. Then he saw one of our Naval edits, and he's like, oh, I want this. We pitched him when he was like on a hotel with the shittiest Wi-Fi you'll ever have. And we're like, yo, Ollie, do you hear us? He's like, yeah. I'm like,
He was like stuck
it's
like
10
this.
grand a month for 10 clips. And he's like, like, it was just a goofy call. And they realized it was a lot more money than they expected, and we pushed it off for like 2 months. We circled back, and we have this idea of like, hey, maybe rather than charge them, let's make it an absolute no-brainer, which has really been our approach to business and offers. It's like, where are you going to want to sign up and just not even think about it? Here we're like, let's just make it free for Ollie, show him how dope it is, and then he'd be an evangelist on his YouTube channel. Like, oh, if anyone wants to hire, go through clips. And also with the several thousand people he'll get going through his course every year, he can be like, hey, if you want to not edit these videos because editing sucks, hire these people for like $500 a week. It's like, oh, that's the beautiful partnership. So we realized there was something there. Then we have this call with Angus, and he kind of runs us through the numbers, and we're like, oh, these numbers could really make sense. And then we have an offer for everyone and a discount. And wow, if there are, say, 500 people in this cohort, and we get even 10% of them to sign up, holy fuck. That's I don't know, tripling our business right now. So we
Right,
after
10%
the call-
likely, 50% possible.
right. It's
very
I mean, we could close much more than that.
Highly
It's-
motivated group.
But it's also one of those catch-22s of this is why we had to pivot to clipped, because we have effectively 500 people that might want to sign up for this. So what percentage of that will actually sign up? That's a big assumption that we don't know the answer to. So it could be 5 people. It could be all 500. We don't know. And we can't hire 500 editors full-time, guaranteed wage, and then only 5 of them fall through. So that was a big issue. But basically the realization Henry had after, or actually maybe you can say I've been talking too much.
So, well, it was a great call. We were really excited about it, and we were going through modeling. You're building out your model. We're like, wait, we kind of offered these things. Does it make sense cash flow wise? Kind of not, but we can talk about that. Kind of. And then I was sitting there, and I'm like, Pop, I'm a little bit concerned about something. And I don't usually have many concerns. Like, we got one super editor making like 1-2 clips a week for Ollie. We had just watched this Peter McKinnon YouTube Shorts video, which says 80-20, Peter McKinnon, 30% of his output is driving 70% of his views. And that 30% is his shorts. So he's
Right.
doing, minority work getting majority output.
Top 10 most viewed videos of Peter McKinnon, 9 of them were shorts, and the other one is like a video from 3-4 years ago.
So fuck. I'm getting really jazzed up about shorts, especially because Peter McKinnon, the purist, is coming around to shorts. So I'm like, Pop, I'm concerned, Pop. I don't think we're giving Ali Abdaal, personally himself, his personal brand, the attention he needs. I'm like, we kind of like threw Nico in there. We're like, Nico, just slap his shit around and like make some clips every once in a while.
Nico's a beast. We knew he did the same thing with Naval. We just threw him in and he slapped shit around and got some bangers.
It worked. But maybe it could have worked better. Well, Naval was the limiting factor. But Ali makes a lot of content. So it's like, if we can have the Peter McKinnon effect, if we can grow his channel 10% or 50% or double it, I don't know, it's all over.
He'll preach us to the end of his life and beyond.
It's all over.
Perpetuity.
And we have 16 super editors kicking around in boot camp hanging out with us, it's like we can go hard on Ali. We're not doing enough. That's the realization.
Well,
that's the 199.
This is one of those beautiful accidental constraints. We effectively thought this transition was going to be a day. It was, hey y'all, we're just slightly tweaking how this works. You only get paid when you're working, but we're going to pay you 50% more. Live long and prosper. We thought that was going to be the message back in the beginning of December. What happened though was it was 2 months of the fucking panic attacks, PTSD, going to world wars. It was brutal. Granted, we're pulling out of that, especially with this apology tour. Hopefully we're kind of all on the same page again. But we ended up hiring for what we thought would be the demand. Granted, that demand would be if we're focused on building demand. We didn't focus on that because we were focused with our internal world war. So we had effectively 15 to 20 new people coming in ready to just rip with their new jobs. And now for the last 2 weeks, actually this whole month of January, we just pushed things off. We've had these 15 or 20 people that effectively paying. So call it an extra 10 grand a week. Yeah, an extra 10 grand a week that we're spending on people without clients. So now we have this constraint. Okay, there's 10 grand there and plus another 10 grand. So we have a 20 grand a week burn rate. And we're like, okay, this is an interesting problem. And we're too scared to like tell them no because we don't want to fuck up the enthusiasm they have. And they're all great editors and animators. And we don't want to like kick them to the curb and then be like, hey, in a month we need you because Ali. So now we're trying to figure out what's the best use.
Probably the 10th time we've talked about the supply side of a marketplace is the hardest to get.
Right.
That's the hard side. And so it's worth paying to keep at least at the start.
The problem that we're going to have to tackle somehow is Uber always has extra supply. You go in and you're never really like looking, or if there isn't enough supply, the prices go up to balance that out. So you can always find a ride pretty much immediately. Same thing with, say, a Rev. If you want to get a transcript really fast, they'll always have extra supply. That's a scary idea for a lot of people. So we got to figure out that. But
well, it
point
won't
being
be
this constraint.
It's a scary idea for the type of people we have, which knew Smart Nonsense Media, the agency.
Right. Might not be
That's
for
the
people
problem.
that
we weren't a marketplace from the get-go.
Right. And there might be a balance. Like I think we found a way where there are some secure clients and we just give our people wanting the agency to the most secure clients and something like that. But basically what's happened is now we have all these people. Like, what do we do with them? We've been trying to teach them how to make cool clips. That's been a difficult but fun process. I think we're learning a lot ourselves, even with building, like, how do we scale this so we can build a course and anyone can come in. Say we have 500 editors come in. We just give them this 5-minute course and it's like, oh, this is how to make a dope clip. So what does that mean?
Wait, I'm realizing, sorry, in the getting crazy, you 99-1'd my 99-1.
I
was just like, let's put 3 super editors on Ali so we can get him, a clip a day for YouTube Shorts. And then you 99-1, you
My
lazy
favorite
bastard.
thing is I'm like, hey, thought experiment. What if we got crazy? Let's take shit to the extreme. That's my favorite thing in the world is just like, take it to the extreme. What does it look like? What if we just put every available body we have on this problem? I don't want to be like body and fucking every available awesome editor we have on the Ali challenge. Like I even wrote down a name last night, Ali Unlimited. We're just like, Ali, we're going to spend 30 grand a month just on making fucking shorts for you. You don't have to do anything with it. Here's the idea. We have like 15 people on it, right? 15 people. All they do is go through all of your content and they're just constantly uploading to TikTok. 3 clips a week. 3 clips a week times 15 people.
Easy. We have to upload because the Filipino IP address shares all the shorts with the Philippine market.
We'll get Erica to VPN. We'll get something. I even wrote down an idea last night. What if we just hired Carol to do it? Crazy ideas left and right. But
wait, you broke out there. What if we hired who?
Carol, my mom. I was like,
nice.
She can't be that much more than Erica. Like we pay the team a lot now. But point was basically, what if we just turned out, say 45, call it 50 clips a week multiply that. We're doing like 250 clips a month almost. We just put that to TikTok. And then we take super basic editing on that. It's like Ali _ clipped. So like people see it, start associating clipped. Like we put clipped at the end of all, like the all in pod or Naval _ clipped on all of our TikToks. So we're getting some kind of like, oh, clipped is just getting ingrained in people's minds. Hopefully we're getting millions and millions and millions of views. And then we take the best performing clips and we're like, Ali, we want to do 2 shorts this week, 3 shorts this week on your channel, or maybe it's 6. Let's just take the best performing this week out of the 50 that we know are going to work and put them in shorts and just like touch them up a little bit so they're more premium for your brand. And it's completely hands off with him.
TikTok.
Permissionless.
TikTok, total consumer. That's the top of the funnel. Take what works, bring it to YouTube Shorts, which is slightly more premium demographic. Then take the shorts that work probably, and he can record a long form on that.
Right. Well, kind of 2 approaches. That if he wanted to elaborate on a previous video, or if he wanted to test a new idea, we're like, Ollie, just shoot a couple shorts. We'll throw them on TikTok, see how they perform. Because he doesn't want to fuck with TikTok. He's said it in his videos before. He doesn't get short form. He doesn't know how it works. I'm like, don't even worry about it. We're just going to do all the science for you. Put 30 grand a month at it. You don't have to spend a dime. We're just going to tell you what works and you do that. So if he falls in love with us, because he's never, like, I don't think this has ever been done in the history of fucking anything. Someone devoting literally almost $500,000, well, whatever, $360,000 a year for free. But if he loves us, he's already preaching us to his customers or his students. So if he's just preaching us constantly, and people are like, what is Ali clipped? Like, who's making that? And they're all funneling to our site, or he's funneling them to our site. Then we have the thousands of paying students paying thousands of dollars a year. Now, like, oh, Ali's like, oh yeah, just check out this TikTok. They do all those clips, plus all the shorts that you see, plus all the other videos they're doing. It's this beautiful flywheel of just awesomeness. And it's worth it for us, assuming the margins make sense when we do get people to invest that sort of money.
Right. It's like we can have all these people working on stuff we think might work, or we can put them all on the Ali Abdaal train, because if that works, it's 99%. It's everything.
Right.
And we can have them do that, and then we can still kind of pull people out to work with clients as we continue to sell them, which is cool. People are subscribing. Like random people are starting to subscribe to Clipped, which is cool and scary because they're consumer.
Everything though is 1-to-1 there. So it's like, it's as if you have a bunch of dominoes and they're just like, there's no dominoes behind it. So like, why would you push them over? It's really just a waste of energy. Versus Ali Abdaal is the one domino with thousands and thousands and even millions with his audience behind him. Like, oh, let's just hit that
millions
domino
of the
and
right
let them
people.
all.
Right.
Right. The perfect.
They're like finance, YouTubers, outsourcers. It's overwhelming.
So here's our biggest problem now. I know we have 7 minutes here.
Wait, so really quick before that, right, the kind of 80-20 there is you were like, why are we even kind of wasting time doing Naval and All-In? Like we can, but we should have everybody on Ali Abdaal, and you and I should be 24/7 working on Ali Abdaal.
Right.
Because Naval and All-In, they're selling tech companies like to our agency. It's Ali Abdaal that's going to turn us into a marketplace.
Right.
We got to get away from tech companies as an agency. We need lone creators, lone YouTubers.
It is funny. It's like, yeah, who is Naval's audience? It's all these tech and VC people, and that's all of our clients. It's like, okay, if we want to pivot, I know consumer is scary, but there are a lot more consumers out there than companies, and the companies are hesitant to probably spend a lot of money in this like outsourced thing to start. It's just been basically 1-to-1. Like maybe they'll hire up to 3 editors or animators, but nothing really more. It'd make more sense to just go through Ollie's channels and the creators that follow him, because everyone is like, oh, how do I? His whole shtick, especially now, is like, what is the efficient? What is his thing? It's like not efficient. He uses another word, but it's
effective.
Whatever. Call it. I don't know. Efficiency, effectiveness. He's basically like, oh fuck. What is his word? He uses it over and over.
What's the context?
I don't know. It's just like all his videos have this in the title. Ollie, it's gonna bug me. whatever. Productive. Everything is productive for him.
Productivity.
But it's like, he's the productivity dude. Like, that's his niche in YouTube, is just productivity. So it's like, oh, you want to be more productive? Outsource. And then Angus is like, yeah, he mentions it throughout the course, and he recently came around. He's like, I should have outsourced from the very beginning. And now he preaches this in his course. Like, oh, if he's already preaching this.
We're like, we outsourced from the beginning. That's why we're here. We built this thing for that.
And I'm looking at the copy on his part-time YouTuber Academy, and it's like, hey, we want to set up a success plan for the next 3 to 6 months. It's like, well, guess what? We do a 3-month subscriptions. And it's like, you just sign up, and that's the ultimate commitment. Like, your sunk cost of, I'm paying for this person full time. They should have awesome content to edit. All of this culminates in, okay, that's where we're focused. Even though we get millions of views on Naval and All In.
Will Smith.
That's right. All of these people, Hassan, for example, the question is, where does the flywheel exist? The flywheel there, it doesn't spin very fast. Like Todd, there was no flywheel. People would never ask who's editing that content. And that's kind of a problem we've had, is like, when we're making these shorts, how do we stand out just enough where people still want to reach out? It looks better than everything else, but not too much better where it's fucking crazy or it doesn't feel native to the platform. So that's kind of our battle, but we realized Ali is the person. Our big problem is when we're pitching outsourcing, the best way we get people their foot in the door and then addicted is giving them a free trial. And that's also what would help sell their premium product the best. That, like, I don't know if I can say numbers, but a good amount of people get the premium product that's like $5,000. If they can help sell that with like, hey, you get a 2-week free trial with Clipped, that'd be amazing for them, amazing for us. The problem is that's going to cost us $1,000 for every person that does that 2-week trial.
And we don't do venture money, so we have no burn. Well, we have burn, we have no runway.
So it's like, that's 50 grand right there we have to have up front. That wouldn't pay itself back for a bit. Plus, to actually get 50 editors, normally we do like $1,000 recommendation bonus. So that's another $50,000. There's $100,000. Who knows? We're probably fudging some numbers. It's probably 150 to 200,000 that we actually need, so that we don't fucking die. So now it's like, how do we get creative? Andrew Gazdecki is like, raise money from your current customers, as in, rather than venture capital, you should just charge them for like a 3-6 year long subscription, and that's going to upfront pay for a lot of this stuff. We might have to end up doing that.
Same
we
with
don't know.
Tesla Autopilot, right? 10 grand up front.
Right.
Won't do a subscription.
That
Have
is
some
fascinating.
cash flow.
That's if we want to end it there, Belky, that's kind of a problem.
It remains
Cliffhanger.
to be seen. The cash flow problem, as always.
Takeaway, hey, when you think about things, think 80-20. Where's that one fucking superstar domino that's gonna just make your life so much easier? A lot of times we didn't have that in the past. Like, for us, that was Naval or All In. That was our domino, relatively speaking. But now this is such a better domino, and once we see it,
You know
just
what I
gotta
love?
double down.
It's a white label, right? The Naval domino was dependent on Naval posting. But it's like the Ali Abdaal domino opens us up to, it's that problem of like tying your revenue to one person, like a 190, like that's a problem because then they pull all the strings. But this one person opens us up to hundreds, thousands.
Plus,
Right, so it's actually a really safe bet.
I know you're gonna go in a second, but really quick, what's cool here is Ali Abdaal. He's been saying how like 60% of his income, everyone at his business relies on Part-Time YouTuber Academy.
Yeah, this makes more money than all the rest of the business combined. Like, over 50% of our revenue now comes from the Part-Time YouTuber Academy, which is a very scary place to be because we're very reliant on this one golden goose to continue doing well.
So if we're gonna make a bet on Ali and betting on his Part-Time YouTuber Academy, all our skin is in the same game. We all want him to sell that out and preach us and get the best experience for them, so they buy more and preach it to all their friends. So it's this win-win-win that we're just not used to, and it's fucking amazing. That's why I love this so much.
And with
All right.
that, we'll see you next time. See you, Pop.
Gordaloo.
Gordaloo.
Wow.
Oh, Pop. Do I have the post-game tea for you? Testosterone and gossip, Pop. Both of them.
Hot.
You got
gossip
Wi-Fi?
and tea. I got Wi-Fi now. You like that? It loads.
Let me hit
Dude,
you.
I'm literally screwing this on. I've never seen something like that before. Pop,
Not since we.
get me the link.
It hasn't been this urgent since we filmed 4 podcasts in one day. I don't even know if those are out yet.
Never.
Pop.
You just set the scene. Where we at? You just get off the phone with
the scene. We pop. This last like week or two, right? We're kind of running out of money. We're employing all these people.
Is this part 2? I think this is like an addendum to
It's
the
an
last
addendum,
one.
Pop. It's the Anne Frank annex. We're
I had one of those Brown moments where it's like, should I be offended? That was a word that usually is worded
probably
in bad context. Fuck yeah, and Frank.
Probably.
Let her rip. What happened?
We, like a week ago, right? We hit up every single contact we have because we want to get people hired because we want to start this platform. We went to, who is that? Doesn't matter.
Push.
We went back to the old stomping ground, Mr. Craft Ventures. All right, because they had this whole backlog of content.
I got the image. Of our Zoom call with them. Just
Way
me
back.
looking yawned out and us 4 and
No,
that
we're
woman
never
was.
doing that again. We are never doing pre-production again. We don't have to. Okay. I get on the phone. So we hit Craft Ventures. They're like, oh, we got this new comms dude who's doing creative direction. I'm like, great. Put us in contact. Okay. So I get on the phone with Jason. And Jason
Derulo.
was creative director over at Target and Yahoo. Now he's consulting for Craft.
Normally, I never hear of just a run-of-the-mill department store like Target. It's like, hey, is department? I don't even know, what does department store mean. Different
They got
departments.
different. Yeah, they got
Just
home. They got
a normal ass store.
tech. They got.
It's just like I ran Target. Be like, oh, that's sick. I'm used to like running Apple and Google, but Target's just one of those sleeper cell dope companies.
Yeah, so
All right, keep ripping.
He,
Sorry to jump in.
he consults for Craft Ventures and for like Walmart and Home Depot, like these just brick and mortar of all brick and mortar. All right. That's all I got. No, I'm just kidding. So we get talking, right? And there's still this need on their end for high-end motion graphics because a lot of their startup companies at Craft Ventures do like screen grabs, right? They record their screen and they record audio and they talk through things and release that as like a how-to on YouTube. We talked to a couple of these people and they're really shitty because the founders are just doing them themselves. And I'm like, ooh, I bet he doesn't know about Colin. And then I'm like, we do ads sometimes. And now it kind of fits the model, these ads, if they can get behind our philosophy. And then he's talking about explainer videos and how those are hard. And I'm like, oh, but they're kind of intuitive to the team now because we do so many. And I'm thinking, and then he says, one of our portfolio companies is Colin. And they got all kinds. They record all these how-to videos, like how to use this feature, and they need motion graphics.
Axel, we back.
I'm like, you don't know, Jason. All right, we made this ad for Colin back in the day. He's like, wait right there. Wait right there. Is it this ad? And I'm like, you stop it right now, Jason.
You tell us if you like it.
He screen shares our ad, Pop. Listen to me. No. Before he pulls it up, I was like, is it the one that goes like
ingrained the PTSD.
First of all,
baby.
at this point he loves the model. He's like $1,000 a week. I know that's a steal, right? I know what's going on here. I love the model. Outsourcing this, I get it. It's brilliant. Everybody needs video. He gets it. He pulls up the ad. I'm like, yep, that was us. Let me tell you a funny story. And I tell him the story, and he's like, let me tell you a funny story. And he's like,
oh, you got the insiders.
I got the inside scoop, Pop. I asked him for the inside scoop, and I'm going to... He tells me Colin came to him and was like, yo, this agency dropped us and we want to create stuff like this. I'm like, we did drop them. We couldn't do ads. We dropped them. Work with me here, Axel. And he's like, that ad and the agency we had do it next was almost the reason I didn't pick up this consulting gig with Craft Ventures, because he was like, they couldn't agree on anything between David Sachs, the founding team, the PR CMO person, all the people we dealt.
Jason said this.
Yes, all the people we dealt with. He had the same problem. He almost didn't stick it out.
Is there? Real quick, I love how everyone preaches Sachs as the operational god, but it's too many cooks in the kitchen.
There's too many cooks.
Sachs trying to be the head chef. And you got Axel, who's actually running the show. And then you got that lady running around. People just pop in and they're like, how about you change the whole ad? It's like, who are you?
Right. I told him, I was like, Sachs wanted one ad, Axel wanted another, and we talked to him the most. So that's kind of what it ended up being. And then
we wanted a different one.
We wanted a different one, but that's fine. We were the agency. The 11th hour, they bring in the PR CMO person that wants to start from scratch. And we're like, for $5,000, no thanks. We do animated clips. However, I told him, this works with our model now because you just subscribe full time, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, I think he would love our rules. I'm going to send that over to him. He's of the same philosophy. He's got 1,000,001. He's kind of like the Ali Abdaal. He's like, doesn't know where to find video help. He helps people with kind of the scripting and pre-production. He's like, I would probably try it for one thing or for a week. If it is like pro motion graphics, or if it's just good or fast, he's like, then I'll just kind of point everyone to you guys.
Can you right now send him Buzzsprout?
Yeah, I will right after. Let me add that. I'm going to send him Redis because, for one, that's the kind of like motion graphics how-to walkthroughs they need. For explainers, yeah, I'll send him like Buzzsprout. He's not so much about like the user-generated social media growth content, like for TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts. No, it's more like either internal how-tos for motion graphics or kind of like what Redis is doing, where like they put together the 5-part how-to series that lives on the website, or they roll that out on YouTube. He's like, I have a company right now that does these screen grab how-tos twice a week, and they're just cranking. So he's like, it would be figuring out how to get them...
Ooh. Okay, white label. That's
what I told him.
Love white label.
He was like, so I told him this would be a white label essentially. Would you be kind of the person to oversee the creatives? He was like, no, I don't want to be the middleman. I just don't want to do that. What I would do is put you in touch with like the marketing person at these different places. And I was like, that's okay, because we find that like the marketing team that doesn't have the bandwidth to do in-house stuff, they at least know how to work with creatives and can like organize assets and stuff. So it's okay.
As long as it's not the bomb where it's like, hey, I know your people are already worked like 50 hours a week. How about we add another 10 hours uploading? That's where we run into issues. But if they already have some bandwidth and they're just like substituting marketing content, then it's perfect.
That's my rant.
Hey.
Closed mouth, don't get fed. That's what that is. Like, go through all your leads, hit them up, be obnoxious.
What was that? Where did that come from? Where did Jason come from?
I emailed Craft Ventures. I emailed, what was her name? Jessica. Fucking
Jessica
bleep it. Yeah. Whatever. It's probably public.
No, it doesn't matter.
And she was like, just here, talk to Jason. That was a stale lead that just became very, very interesting. That
was a year ago we talked to them, and they're like, we might want videos for our companies.
And they haven't figured it out.
And we dropped them, and we publicly shit on their app and their company. I ranted for maybe 30 minutes on that episode.
Dude, he and I were losing our shit laughing about that ad. I was like, I'll tell you one more thing, Jason. Like, we got version, 2 or 3 of that thing out within a week, and we loved it. And then, we're talking version 12 and 15 and 30, and we're like marginal and subject. I was like, you're going to like our rule book. Man.
Hey, good work. Look at you, techie and marketer. You don't even need me anymore.
Nope.
Let me just be moonshot. Pay me like $8,000 a month and I'll moonshot you.
I need you to wire me this month's pay, Pa. That's what I need.
Hey, you got access to the bank account. I just wire myself these days. That's it. You're on your own.
All right, the real reason we're here. That came out of left field.
Hey.
I think you needed a 5-minute appendix.
I need some body part. Hey, did you look at the Buzzsprout edit?
No,
Andrew?
that's why we're here.
Oh, you got the bandwidth to do it live? Hey, let me try doing it live.
I can do it live. I got good Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Then I got to upload the vlog and get the fuck out of here. They got to clean this room.
You got good Wi-Fi. You got 720p. Actually, that's not bad.
Okay, ready?
Oh, God, I'm turning into a crazy person. Yeah.
I hope I don't have to redact nothing on my screen. Oh, okay.
Hey.
Yeah, you're
you
fucked,
chose to
Pop.
screen share before
We're at
you found the link, huh?
992 subs. We're gonna beat you to 1,000. Buzzsprout clipped number 2. Hi, Albin.
I'm scared to...
You're scared of what?
I'm scared to like respond with too much like anchoring.
Oh,
I love
fuck.
this shit.
Right, especially after what happened last night on Twitter with Albin. We'll roll that B-roll here and link it.
Oh yeah, thank God. Andrew's saving.
Snowman.
That's good B-roll.
Okay, are we ready?
Hey,
I don't think sound comes through, so maybe we can sync that up in post. Here we go. This is for Buzzsprout, which is cool. This is the OG podcast hosting company that hosted the Smart Nonsense podcast. They came to us to do some clips. I think it's pretty neat. Are you ready?
Top 3 recommendations for recording your podcasts remotely. If you are just now starting out, Zoom is probably a better fit for you. As you are exploring it, seeing if you're going to commit to, it's a really low budget, kind of low risk way to get into it and try it out. There's a free subscription plan, and if you're super savvy, you can go in and ask it to record separate audio tracks. Next up,
you're not very good at reaction videos.
Record up to 8 people at a time. It also boasts some really cool
features. This is like the anti-reaction video.
Social media. If you are committed to YouTube, you've got followers, you've got the channel,
you're supposed to react to the video.
Best in solid audio and video quality. And for that, we really do recommend Squadcast, as they have proven to give us.
This is really boring for an audio listener.
They allow you to record up to 4 people, and they also have some really awesome features like green rooms. They allow you to record your audio in separate tracks as well, and they're regularly updating their software, which we love. Riverside or Squadcast, either one of those, and you wouldn't go wrong at all. So if you're trying to
melting down.
Focus on our top 3 recommendations for recording your podcast remotely. If you are just now
and it ain't the heat.
It loops.
It ain't the heat from
It loops, doesn't it?
It's a loop-de-doop, dude.
So, initial thoughts. Sorry for not reacting.
Block.
I'm blocking because I saw something nice. Initial thoughts. I might not stop at the scroll because it looks like an ad. Secondary thoughts. That's okay. Secondary thoughts. It plays perfectly beautifully. What if it is an ad? That's all they need on their website.
Right.
And then on top of that, he did that in a day and a half.
Right. This is where I'm like,
I gotta react. I gotta put a mind blown. I don't know how it's gonna do on socials, but it doesn't get better than that.
Well, here's the thing. I think my approach to this would be, okay, that looks like the polished ad version. Can we get that as V2, but V1 is like not the crazy title intro, more normal looking, and then the ad version we layer on the extra details.
We should test. Maybe you hop in there. It's like, can we get this on TikTok, Albin? Can we do the more amateur looking one that doesn't look like an ad when you scroll to it? Let's get that on TikTok. Do them side by side. Is it just the
start that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's like she starts on a cutout background. It's beautiful. She's perfectly shot. The background is like perfectly blue. I'm like, that's an ad. So I kind of want to test like amateur versus that on TikTok. And then like to your point.
What makes it more amateur? How would you de-professionalize it?
I'd have to watch again. I don't want to right now, but I don't know what her background was, but just starting with it looking like she normally shot it. Like not starting with a removed background and shit behind her.
She probably shot with the green screen because that was a clean binky.
It's so clean. But I like this, like,
dude, I've never
do the amateur version maybe for growth on socials and deliver the ad that is evergreen for them for 3 years.
Right. Here's the thing, right? So you start amateur. Maybe you put out 3 that week, and then you take the top performing of the 3 and layer on that pro.
Right.
It's like, bam. That's the strategy. You just figure out what does well, and then turn that into an ad, or you just like go with your gut with an ad and you're just gonna push it regardless.
Holy
But that was the first where I'm like, this is a piece of art. This should be an NFT. If you don't think he's gonna get the Abominable Snowbound, Albin, you better watch out because that he is right in the crosshairs right now.
Here's my worry about like these as ads. That thing is perfect. You gotta put that out into the world. Andrew labored over that, I'm sure, in a 12-hour edit. The problem is when these companies come back with like, can we tweak these 4 things in it? It's like, you don't need to.
Right.
I don't know how we set those
here's
expectations.
The thing. That's not really our problem. It's more like, hey, Albin, fucking not Albin. Hey, Andrew, if you're cool with doing these tweaks, go and do them. Like they know that this is just taking up your time. If it's bothering you, like you hate working on version 5 of something, let us know and we'll just give them a talk. Be like, yo, you're gonna burn your person out. That's not.
But it also, my worry is it also gets worse because there's diminishing returns. Because then the creative stops caring about the tweaks, and they get worse. Could be.
We just gotta let them know if that turns out to like we need the early indicator of, hey, they're asking for a lot. The anti-call-in. But no, I was blown away, and I'm like, okay, Andrew, I don't know what Koi's teaching. Maybe Koi's teaching something awesome, but Andrew, you get it. You 100%, there's not a question in my mind. We can even dial it back even a little bit more, but I know he's probably trying to impress right out of the gate. So it's the easiest thing in the world is just to dial back, which I think we pretty much have to do across the board. All in today, same deal. It's like, this is awesome, but it's still too much. Like, let's make it easier. So
it was amazing for All In for Kaya to say this is what she could do in a day, and it's really good and polished, and it's still too much. So we're like,
well, did she redo it from scratch? I don't know if it was
true,
but still, yeah, it's effectively a lot more doable than probably they thought. So, point being, I'm like, Buzzsprout, this is interesting. This is an unbelievable edit. And what are they preaching? Oh, they're preaching, what do you record podcasts on? Video podcasts. I'm like, oh, wait. You're telling me, Buzzsprout, I looked at their stats. They have 100,000 plus active podcasters on their platform. I was going through my emails earlier, and I see an email from Buzzsprout. It's like, hey, you should check out these softwares to use to grow. It's like, what if in one of their emails, it's like, hey, exclusive clipped discount for all Buzzsprout subscribers. I'm like, hey, you're telling me 100,000 people that want to grow their podcast in the hardest industry to grow might get an email from us?
We've got to crack the growth nut. If we can, like, say 50% of the time reliably have tens, 20s, 50s, hundreds, thousands of views on these growth channels, it's so over.
Well, I'm like, this is just, hey, Albin, do you like the edit? Yeah, they're fucking sick. It's like, do you think it'd help grow podcasts to have cool edits like this?
Well, the best case scenario,
how you grow podcasts.
The best case scenario is it does well for them on TikTok. And they naturally kind of see that. And then we're like, slip in the side door. Oh, yeah, let's figure out an offering like PTYA for Buzzsprout and podcasts.
No, that's our thing. Our default offering is just 20% off. It's like what everyone else does. It doesn't have to be 20. It could be 10%, but I think 20% is juicier. It's just like, hey, everyone that's subscribed to Buzzsprout or that bought Part-Time YouTuber Academy, 20% off.
I know, but imagine how
Just a
much
blast.
more weight that will have if he puts this, or he puts 3 a week on TikTok and is
Right.
doing 150,000 views a week.
Well, that's
Organic.
why I'm like, let's look at the potential upside from all our we have right now. Call it, let's just round numbers. Call it 40 potential editors and animators. Half of them, they're already working with clients. Okay, they're off. The other 20, we have 20, which is more resources than we ever had. Where is the highest return to using them? I think we agree we want a lot on Ollie because that's a massive front. But also, if Buzzsprout, we somehow boosted a company, which is pretty hard to do, but we'd have to, like, that's a lot harder than Ollie.
They got 80,000
Viral
YouTube
content.
subs for Buzzsprout. It is harder. Yeah.
Well, how many views? But point being, maybe it's worth putting up a few, maybe even a handful of short form editors to grow them. And if we can grow their company channel,
Fucking A.
they're going to be like, everyone needs this on our platform, because then they're going to, people that are successful in their podcast are going to keep podcasting for longer. So it's the flywheel of flywheels. They want us, we want them. And it's just,
Here's how I see it. It's like 10 on Ollie because he's got the biggest audience. Say 3 on Buzzsprout or whatever, and then you got like get this little trial going with Craft, and man, so Ollie's gonna be a month. Buzzsprout can kind of start now. It's like these 3, if they work and they're happy and we blow their minds, are floodgates open to the platform.
this is where it's so difficult to predict demand, because it's like right now we effectively don't have anyone. We'll get like maybe 1 or 2 a week, but then you turn on one of these 5 spigots and we could have 100 people tomorrow. It's like, how do we even account for that? That's actually what I think nowadays. Going down the street, I'm like, because the team was talking about job security. It's like, how does any company have job security? I guess they just like, they have a big buffer, so they do all this stuff. But so much changes in business, like supply and demand, as in we could literally 10x in size the next month. And it's like, how do we even like predict or account for that? And we're like, it's kind of crazy. So that's why we have to do this model. Luckily, it hopefully can work with the Clip certified version.
So
but I think,
yeah.
like you said, maybe it's 10 Ollie, 3 Buzz, for example, 2 All-In, 2 Naval, and then whatever.
It's like,
Craft
hey,
Ventures.
Albin, we're so in love with these clips. Can we just take over your TikTok for a month? Oh. And then go hard in the paint. That's even like, Albin's kind of like the month prior to Part-Time YouTuber Academy.
What do you mean month prior?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Just kind of like, yeah, I don't know, because we're going to do Ollie's personal stuff. Never mind. Anyway, Pop, I got to get to work because we got to get some people on Ollie. We got to get some people on Buzzsprout. I got to follow up with Jason, and then we got to apologize to the entire company.
Hey.
Hassan
Hey,
Minhaj.
did anyone ever say running a company is easy? I
No,
thought
but
it was.
man,
for a
it's
little
fun.
bit.
I woke up today. I didn't expect any of these kind of 3 things, and I am fucking
Right.
stoked.
I went to grab breakfast the other day, and I'm there, and I remember being a waiter, and I'm like, you do the same thing every single day. Like, if I were a waiter, I'd be like, how do I optimize like 1% a day and just improve the business, myself, my life, whatever it is. But I'm like, you just heads down to the same thing for years and years and decades. It's like, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 20 minutes.
No,
I'm like,
dude.
hey, emergency addendum number 2. You never know.
No, we had Samuel Spar subscribe last night to Clipped. Dylan's like, are you fucking me right now? You're telling me that's not
Samuel.
a Sam Parr parody.
Sam Spar.
Samuel Spar?
Sam Parr's learning how to spar, and he's illiterate. Or
And he
dyslexic.
wanted a video editor. So it's like,
Right.
get out of here, Sam Spar. All right, Pop.
Time to do some business, but I'm excited.
I'm walking over to a coffee shop, uploading a vlog. Subscribe to Henry Belcaster. We are 8 subs away from hitting 1,000. Monetized, baby. Gonna be monetized.
Hey, I
Fuck
just sent
you.
out 20 grand for this week via wire, so hopefully you can monetize.
Oh,
hey,
no.
hey, do I get a cut of the monetization then? Because I'm paying for part of Ken.
Yeah, you can have a
Give
cut,
me,
Pop.
give me some of the scraps.
You can have a cut. I'll give Clip 25. I'll give Ken 25. The rest is mine, baby.
Fuck yeah. I'm not giving shit from Smart Nonsense. All right. Hey, we'll see y'all next episode.
See ya.